Stop blaming your losses on bad luck. I know it's hard. I know that sometimes you just see, oh, Fire Blast missed. I would have won if this or that, or if X happened. Stop that. You're making yourself a worse player. And you're definitely losing games because of this. And what I mean by that is, instead of going over your battle and thinking, oh, if I was in this position, if I did X wrong, this would have won me the game. But instead you're thinking, oh, if this RNG based event just didn't happen, I would have won. And you're putting yourself in this position where you can't actually improve as a player. Because let's say, for instance, I'll start this in the background to be some videos with a lot of bad luck in them. But let's say you got Sludge Bomb poisoned on your Moltres or something by a Amoonguss, let's say, and that lost you the game. And you could say, oh my god, well, if I didn't get Sludge Bomb poisoned here, I would have won. I played it really well. But sometimes it just isn't the case, and you could think to yourself instead, something along the lines of, how could I have sort of played the battle where I didn't get Sludge Bomb poisoned? Did you switch Moltres hard into Amoonguss and get poisoned because you tried to make some sort of predict? Was that predict really necessary in that situation? And a lot of situations like these, I see players just like complain about things that went wrong for them, when in reality stuff happens in Pokemon. You have to deal with it, and you have to try to just play to minimize what happens. And obviously I'm not saying that there are some games that are just, you would have won, you played it really perfectly, but it just came down to luck. And especially versus the better players, like the higher up you go, of course you see the double Thunder Mist right here, the more the better players you face, basically, the more likely this is to occur, because you're both really good players, you both know your outs, and they just try to play around their outs. If their outs is trying to go for hacks, then we'll go for that, even if it seems like a predict for you, and you can try to, and you can, like, it's really hard to play around that sometimes. But I'm just saying, you need to get out of this mindset of just thinking that, oh, I would have won if I just didn't miss this Leaf Storm, if I would have just landed this Hurricane here, because sometimes it just feels really unnecessary. Like, let's say, for instance, you have your Heatran in on that Landorus, very standard Heatran's Gambit, you stay in, and they don't go for it, go for rocks, and then you miss Magma Storm and say, oh my god, okay, if I got that chip on Landorus, at the end of the game you think, okay, if this landed, I got that chip on Landorus, I won the game. But that can't be true. That's definitely true. Unlucky for you, you made the predict, but did you really need to make that predict, like turn 1 especially? No, you really didn't. And they knew that too, and they just kind of outplayed you, and they got lucky. How it works in Pokemon. But still, you find yourself in this sort of space where you're just like blaming this thing that you can't have any control over, when you can instead just look at the things you did have control over and try to improve them. What if instead of on the rocks, instead of just trying to Magma Storm, you just went into your Tornadus and just defogged them away? You would have been in the same spot. You wouldn't have just had that sort of dead turn for yourself where they got up rocks for free. And if they had chose to Earthquake, then of course you would have won that exchange too, and it's just all around better play. So it just, I don't like when players just kind of complain about their bad luck. My god, if X happened, then I would have won. That can be true, definitely, and especially in like this battle, this player got extremely unlucky, and I think they just played everything really well and played to their outs perfectly, but still end up losing because RNG was really against them. But those battles, I think, are very kind of few and far between. It's that you might as well just move past those. Those can't hurt you anymore. You have nothing to learn from them. So I'm not sure why you would just kind of dote on that. Oh my god, this game's so horrible. I'm losing all the time. And I don't know. I'll go over an example of something where I made a mistake. I made a play and I got punished by bad RNG. So up here I have my Iron Puddle in on this Jirachi. I taunted it, I have Covert Cloak, so it can't paralyze my Body Slam. But I land another Hydro Pump right here, and it's basically almost dead. And here I'm thinking, okay, I'm not gonna open up the calc and see how much freeze dry it does. I'm just clicking it here because I think it'll probably 2-hit KO this thing. And you know, the reason I'm doing that is just I don't have arrows for that. I'm just being lazy. I think, okay, it'll probably just 2-hit KO this. And I don't open the calc, and I just go for this, and it's 14%, but healed back by leftovers. The next one won't even KO this. And now I'm in this spot where the next Body Slam could kill me if it crits, and I need to land with these Hydros. Now, because of that, now I'm missing. I miss one Hydro, Body Slam doesn't KO me. He just protect here, but then I miss another one, and I end up dying to this Jirachi, which I could have killed. And I'm not saying right here, if I would have clicked Hydro Pump instead, of course that may have missed, then I could start complaining. Then I could be more justified, but of course I would have had one more opportunity in order to do that. If I had not just been lazy, I would have done my homework and actually just opened the calc and tried to figure out how much this freeze dry would have done to Jirachi. And because of this, I ended up losing the game because I couldn't get rid of Jirachi quick enough. And it's just situations like these, obviously not this exact situation where you're being lazy. Sometimes you think you make the right play, but it's important to just go back and see what other plays you could have made that would have kind of minimized your chances of losing that game. Right over here, this is just going to be another example of sort of games that being played really well, but you do get hacks, and like these do exist. I'm not trying to say that these games, like, you need to every game is winnable. Not every game is winnable. Sometimes you do just get hacks out of your mind. You play really well and you think you have it won, but it just, the cards don't happen that way. This person, they played really well. I think they switched their Houndstone into this Aqua Step. They get crit on the first one. They miss 2 Will-O-Wisps in a row, and then they lose to this one. This was their Quavo counter. And they would have been able to, of course they had Protect for leftovers, so they wouldn't be able to live one more Aqua Step, get off one more Will-O-Wisp if they hadn't been crit that first time. And, you know, I'm not going to say that, oh, maybe you should have kept Tentacruel alive. No, if you think you have, like, one really good check to this thing, and there's still a lot that has to go wrong in order for it to beat your check, like 2 Will-O-Wisp misses and a crit for this Houndstone to lose to this Quavo, I'm not going to recommend that you play a completely different way for a super specific scenario. I'm not saying that, but need to understand that these things, they're really few and far between, and you can't just blame every single one of your losses on luck, even if you did get unlucky a little bit. And all I'm trying to say is that the next time that you lose, you think, oh my god, if I just landed this Draco Meteor, if I just dodged one of those 6 Hydro Pumps, I would have won. Just try to look back first and see what you could have done to sort of prevent that scenario, and just think about your options, and that'll just make you a better player in the long run, in my opinion. But that's going to be it for today. A bit of a rant. I don't know, I'm trying something new today. Tell me if you like it. If you did like it, and you're new here, sure to subscribe, you know, and hit the like button. I heard that it glows when I say that, so hit the like button, Anyway, that's it for today. See ya.